we go. Here we can elevate. Look at that.
No, I can't read.
Alright, so I've got the agenda, so sorry. That's fine. Alright. Who has the clipboard?
I do.
Can
You get the notes off of that real quick?
These are the ones that are signed.
Okay. Somewhere in there should be a set of notes all the way at the back of that, I think.
I'm working on the top.
Okay, I will.
Kirk, is Nikki in front?
Yes.
Excellent.
Let me give it to Jessie because she knows what she's looking for.
All right, what are we looking for?
So before we get started too far, I want to point out that Billy is videotaping. And we're playing with a projector. And these are toys that we're hoping to play with at the convention. Because this is year 4, and we don't have like a lot of video of what has happened at the convention. And in preparation for this year, I was like, I want to go see videos of Jim Butcher talking in front of other people. And I had a hard time finding what I was looking for. So I'm like, I want to be able to provide that. So we're going to try and videotape at the convention. But we're videotaping today to kind of test things out. So if you don't want to be taped,
Don't stand in front of the camera and don't speak up.
and the camera is right there.
Yeah.
So if you have a question and you don't want your voice on camera, write it down, pass it up, and we'll just do it that way.
Or we'll do it after the camera's shut off.
Or we'll do, yeah, we can do that way too. So is it recording now?
Yes.
Okay. And also part of this is that way we can put this online for anybody who didn't make it today, because we have a YouTube channel, and so we can just start actually putting things out there. So that's another thing, is if you are at the convention and you want to videotape something and load it up to our YouTube channel, let's do it. Let's go for it. So, all right. So, hello, I am Nikki Ebright. I am the convention organizer. So for those of you who may not know that, I don't know if there's anybody in this room who doesn't know that, but now you know. Okay, so yeah, this is the 4th year of the Myths and Legends Convention, so it's not just a fluke. It like keeps happening. Welcome to the year of, oh my god, we're late on this. Unfortunately, usually I'm a little bit more ahead of things. This year, things are just out of control. So I apologize if anybody's been missed on emails, or if you've gotten some chaotic emails from me or anything like that. It'll be better next year though. So let's go to the multi-year overview, yes? Okay, so 2016 is about to happen. We are, 5 days away now, this being Sunday, so Friday is day 1, I know, right? 2017, we've already got a letter of intent basically with the hotel. We'll be back here for year 5. Woo! Okay, and it'll be a little bit earlier. We're doing August 4th through 6th, so we may have some conflicts with, I don't know if we'll end up conflicting with the Denver County Fair, because usually that's kind of the week, like end of July, 1st of August.
Closing weekend of Ren Fair.
Might be closing weekend of Ren Fair. You know what, there's never any way to just not run into this. Right, I mean, we are so blessed in Colorado. There's so many cool things to do in Denver area. So anyway, so we're going to do that because then hopefully Billy and I will be going to Worldcon in Helsinki. That's the plan. Right after.
Cool.
So yeah, why not? It's better
Need some moving houses.
yes, it beats moving houses during the convention. That was last year. And then in 2018, Myths and Legends Con and WesterCon are co-hosted together. So we can definitely talk more about that. WesterCon is a traveling convention. That's just kind of high-level overview. WesterCon is a traveling convention. It's a little bit larger. They're more, well, they're like 1,000. We may get to like 1,500. We might get to 2,000 for the WesterCon year. So that year, go ahead. We're at the Westin in Westminster for 2018. It's beautiful. It's right off of Highway 36, where the Butterfly Pavilion is. So right up in that area, there's going to be light rail in place by then. So that's going to be cool. We're definitely expecting to have a lot of out-of-town folks because WesterCon travels. There are people who follow it around. WesterCon has never been in Denver, so this is really exciting. We've had Worldcon, which is bigger, but never a WesterCon. So we're really promoting the whole, hey, come to Denver, it's different, you've never been here. Come enjoy Denver, we're going to put together excursions, all sorts of stuff there. So 2018 is already kind of rolling in the background. We've already got a team started on that. if you want to be a part of that team, let us know. We always need more people to be involved in helping make things happen. And yes, so as I said, we're going to need more volunteers. Was that my team thing? Yeah.
That might have been.
So basically, one of the things we're kind of directing towards is instead of having like one person, hi, I'm the head of blank, and I'm in charge of everything under blank. It's like, hi, I'm part of being in charge of blank, and here's the rest of the team. So trying to get more of a team aspect for all of our departments. That way, if somebody gets sick or can't do something or whatever, you know, we've got some flexibility there. We've got some backup as well. And it also helps us because we can take on more tasks that we enjoy. I mean, Billy and I do a lot of that already, where I'm like, oh my God, I don't want to deal with this. He's like, whoop, done. Or sometimes he's like, oh, this is annoying. I'm like, hang on, I got this. So having that kind of back and forth within each department is really, really useful. Come on in. So we were just talking about what's coming up in the future. And okay, so then one of the things that we're also working on is trying to make sure we have like department@malcondenver.org. So that way we avoid using the Facebook and avoid using personal emails and avoid using text, because if I'm really, really busy and you guys send me a text, I might not get it, or I might lose it, it might fall off the edge of my phone, whatever, and I might not respond to that. But if you send it to programming@malcondenver.org, not only does that get to an inbox that I see, there's also people, I've had 4 people in that inbox this last week. So it's a way to have other people be able to join in and help out without having it just be directed at one person specifically. So, so please start trying to migrate that direction mentally if you're not already. Okay. So, current convention details, I think is what I have next.
Do we have a list of those emails?
Get with us afterwards and we can go through that.
No, that's a good point though. So maybe put list online or something. Well, the problem is I don't want to necessarily put things online. Like we have info@malcondenver.org online. And then everything just goes to that, because I don't want to necessarily put like programming@malcondenver.org online, because then people are like, hey, I want to come and juggle flame at your convention. Like, I'd rather that go to info and I can be like, I think it really fits, thanks. You know, but I don't know, maybe we do start putting that online because we're getting there.
Mostly I was just meaning for like staff and volunteers of the con, that might be helpful.
We do have a staff page where we could put that.
I can consider putting it on.
Yeah. So somehow we'll need to come up with a way for the volunteers to have access to that.
Just the basic hours.
Well, it's like the emails.
Well, isn't the Facebook that you have set up a private one?
Yeah, we can post it.
You can post it on the Facebook page and that way you know who to email.
That works. Sweet. See, this is why I love my volunteers. You guys have the greatest ideas. Okay, so this year, this is what we've got going on. Friday through Sunday, and this is posted on the website. Like, if you go to malcondenver.com, like, this is the first thing you see. So if you get, like, we get emails, they're like, we don't know what time you're open. Go to malcondenver.com, is the first thing you see. So the convention, we're starting at 5 o'clock and running till midnight, just like last year. 9 a.m. to midnight, just like last year on Saturday, and 9 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. on Sunday, just like last year, I'm pretty sure. Registration, you guys are doing 3 to 8, 9 to 7, and 9 to 3. We're going to do silent auction, though, on Saturday. We're going to close that at 8. So that way you've got time to close down registration and then deal with silent auction. Okay, cool. And Christopher's up there. He's been helping me a ton with silent auction. So Joe down here, head of Reg, you guys should touch base today. And then vendor and art show, this year they are in separate spaces, but there's an air wall that's going to be open, partly open between them, so we're going to run the same hours between them. So they're start doing 5 to 9, and then 10 to 8, and then 10 to 4. Although that 10 to 4 is a little off because, Misty, are you here? Any art show people here? I think she's closing it down at 3, like for people to pick up their stuff. So she'll be around until 4 and we'll be writing checks and gathering money and that sort of thing. So that'll definitely be still on site. But I think they're tearing down at 4. So, okay. Do you have a map? No map? Not yet?
No. Do you want a map?
Eventually. We can talk about people first.
I'll work on that.
So, in case you weren't aware, Jim Butcher is our guest of honor this year! We are very excited. And lots of people are really excited. We keep getting emails like, oh my God, Jim Butcher's coming! When can I see him? And we're like, hey, check out this page on the website. Because the schedule is finalized tonight, but mostly finalized. So you can go online, you can see the schedule, everything's there. So the Jim Butcher is coming, and then our musical guest of honor are the Double Clicks, which is on the next page.
Sorry, I was looking at the website.
So both Jim and the Double Clicks are a little chill. Like, oh no, we also have, go ahead and go to the next. Because then Perry Charlevaux is our artist guest of honor. He's also getting married during the convention, so we'll talk about some of this here in a minute. He and Lee are getting married. I know, it's so sweet. Well, because the whole thing didn't work out at Starfest because Perry ended up in the hospital, so we are hoping, that that doesn't happen this year. He's doing so well so far, so okay. And then we have also musical guest S.J. Tucker coming. She's very popular with Pandora Celtica. They all adore her. So I'm really excited to have her come and we can actually see her in person. And then we also have Sean Patrick Fannin, who is really big in RPGs. And so he's also coming as a special guest. Have another pair special guests that I'm working on right now. They are the guys who did, who were the people who came up with all the stuff for Avatar: The Last Airbender.
The choreography.
What's that?
The choreography.
The choreography. They did all the choreography and all the martial arts. They were the guys who basically put all that together. So I'm trying to get them to come as also special guests. So pretty much our special guests and our guests of honor this year are a little more chill. I don't know if you guys remember last year we had Stant Latore and we had Keith DeCandido, and I mean we're talking like Muppets, like and so they brought this like amazing energy, and they're both coming back, so they're gonna be here. But definitely with our guests of honor, it's a lot more chill. Jim likes to interact with his fans, but he's not, we want to make sure, one of the things I want to make sure is that he will allow his fans to take his time to a fault. So those of you who are, so when he's doing things, like when he's doing his, he's doing a couple panels in here. And so one of the things we'll have to be careful of is making sure that like when he's done with his panel, we let him go, and when he's at his table and he needs to get to a panel, like we've got our VIP handlers, and we're gonna need to all together, like if they're like, I need help over here, just kind of step in and gently encourage people, hey, Jim's got a panel in 2 minutes, let's all go there, that kind of thing. We definitely want to work with our attendees, but we want to make sure that we get Jim in a good position where he is able to be where he needs to be and not have to be rude to his fans. So, yeah, you had a question?
This came up in the Jim Butcher fan club.
Yeah.
Is there a cap or like attendance? I mean, we might actually have a large number of people converging on Saturday that
Sure.
might not have been as expected as previous years.
Yeah.
So the hotel, we have figured out we can pretty much take 1,000 people. Now, I am leaving 250 of that to be us, us, vendors, all of the infrastructure. So that leaves 750 paid attendees. So that is our cap. We haven't met it yet. We're still in the 200s for our pre-registrants. We might actually pass 300, maybe 400 by the time we get to Friday for pre-registration. But when we get to 750, and this will be part of Joe's deal, is when we get to 750, we're done. Like, we are going to say we are sold out if we get to that point. Now, that would be a great position to be in. We will be very, very crowded if that happens. I don't expect that to happen for Friday or for Sunday, but Saturday it definitely could happen.
Nikki, how has the advertising and word of mouth been for walk-ins, not necessarily pre-registrants?
People are definitely talking about stuff online, but I don't know. Like, I'm so out of those circles right now in terms of just like posting on Facebook and the Twitter is behind. Remember that whole thing about this is the year being behind? Yeah, that's definitely happening. But like chatter is happening in like the fans of Jim Butcher group and then the other groups. So there's a lot of chatter going on. So that's where it's like it could go any direction. I mean, I'm sure we're gonna have people. I'm expecting that we're gonna hit 800 people total this year, and we hit almost 600 last year. So Looney, you had one more.
Due to that chatter, would it be okay, because of like organization do post like essentially now, to say, hey, if you're planning on coming Saturday, maybe pre-regging would be a good idea?
Definitely. I would highly encourage anyone to pre-register. Yeah. It's only $35.
Pre-registrants have a higher priority of getting through the door than walk-ins.
Yes,
so.
yes. Anybody who pre-registers will get, with a weekend, we're not doing any day passes pre-registration. We're only doing weekend badges. But it's $35. That gets you the whole weekend. Anybody who pre-registers is guaranteed to be able to get in.
So, Nikki?
Yeah. So, okay, so this is kind of a graph that I asked, that Billy and I have been talking about.
It's
So-
out of date. It's from a few weeks ago.
From starting a few weeks ago. So 2015, that's what our pre-reg looked like, and then at the end it just shoots up. For 2016, we are already at that point in this date. So we have passed, like, yeah, we're, like 50 to 100 ahead today than we were last year at this point.
And unfortunately, the website we use for doing this doesn't make this information easy to extract. So I don't update it very often, but it's just pretty cool to see.
So one of the things that I messaged Jesse about, like when Jim is in this room, once the panel starts, there's a door at the back. So we're gonna need like another volunteer, it would be great, to basically be at that back door holding it open and saying, hey, yes, you're welcome, come on in. Come on in these, as long as they can do stairs. You know, so we'll have to be watching for any disabilities, invisible disabilities count. But if they can do stairs, to come on in and just come in through the back. So I tried to schedule Jim either in here, because this is our largest panel room, hey, or in the main events. So that's where I tried to make sure that he's at. So, and we're trying to accommodate for as many chairs as possible. Depending, I mean, who knows? We may end up just having 800 people, including all of us, and have a great time. And Saturday was a little crowded last year, even with our 600. So we'll see how it goes.
Hey, Nikki,
Yes,
do we want to put a sign on this door saying that there is another door back here?
we could do that. Billy, do you want to add that?
I'll add that to my to-do list.
So, all right, Billy will add that to the signage. So what else did I want to say about programming? So most of the big things are happening over there. Oh, can you pull a map up and just
Yes.
visually walk through that real quick?
As soon as I finish with that.
But speaking about the gym book, has this book situation been resolved yet?
He's not bringing books to sell.
Oh, so he's not bringing books to sell at all?
Right.
Okay.
So yeah, we're trying to hit thrift stores and put stuff in the silent auction.
I will also mention that in Canada.
Oh, so if anybody sees any books, any of Jim's books for $5 or less, go ahead and pick them up. We'll put them in the silent auction. We'll reimburse you, as long as they're in decent condition.
Well, readable.
Yeah. Okay, so just so you guys have an idea, right now we're over here in Helm's Deep. And then the small conference rooms are the ones across here where we met last year and where we did, there's a lot of, these are all panel rooms across here. Across the halls where the large conference area is. So Gallifrey and McAnally's Pub are combined for most of the convention. That is our main events. That's in the corner. I tried to put main events in the corner this year based on some feedback on the whole noise situation from last year and with the air walls. But it will be split during Saturday from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. and then it opens back up. The wedding is a private event and happening on Saturday afternoon and it'll be in Gallifrey. So it's just not on the schedule. It's basically there's a blank spot on the schedule for Lee and Perry. So Lee and Perry are getting married in here and then migrating across for the reception. So, yeah, that'll be cool. So McAnally's Pub is the name of main events when it's all open. And I've got a sign talking about how it's a mutual accord area. So put that up. Anyway, so art show is here. And Market Square vendor room is here again. This air wall will be partway to about here. It'll be open, so people will be able to come in that door, and then this is bordered, so we have stuff going on both sides of that wall. So that's why art show will be having hours that mimic vendor hours. So that way, when we are ready to lock, we just lock both doors and we're done. Vay will be inside here with her vendor table. Registration will be back here where it was last year. We're gonna put volunteer check-in here straight across, so you'll be able to cross-talk, throw things at each other, whatever you want. And then up outside of Max and Gallifrey is where the green screen adventures is gonna be. So, and people don't even know we have a green screen. So let people know, we have a green screen, it's free, you just go, you take a picture taken in front of some fun, silly stuff. It's run by Zoo as part of the, what is
Make-A-Wish?
And you can make donations, and all the donations there will go to Make-A-Wish Foundation. So, she does it through, it's not 501st, I think
It's one of the Star Wars groups.
It's one of the Star Wars groups. It's the, no, it's the other
Fan
one.
Force?
Thank you, Rocky Mountain Fan Force.
We'll get
I
there.
think it's the Rocky Mountain Fan Force. I think it's who owns all that equipment. But Zoo does it, she's awesome. Okay, so,
Are we still doing general access that if anybody non-attendee wants to go visit the exhibitors, they can?
yes, I'd like to go ahead and continue that, because that way our vendors get more sales. And then maybe they'll be like, wow, this is a really cool convention, I want to go buy a pass and go see things. So, and they're right there, exactly. Okay, so we talked about times and dates, talked about a few, you wanna put up some schedule highlights, Billy?
Just before we do that, if anyone hasn't checked out the website, there's 2 different programming pages on the website. One that's called Programming Schedule, and this is an alphabetical list of panels. So if you're looking to see, who's on age-appropriate reading, or who's on better halves, or whatever, this is a great page to go and look at that, because it's got any panelists who are scheduled there will be listed here. And we also have a second page, which is by panelist. So if you're really wondering,
What's Aaron Michael Ritchie doing?
sure, what's he doing? He's doing a lot of things. Or more relevant for today's conversation, what is Jim Butcher doing? This is a breakdown of all the panels that he's listed as being a part of.
He's
So
gonna be busy, so we need to make sure we
Right.
keep. Now,
So-
some of this is like opening ceremonies.
Yeah.
He just needs to be there.
Right. So if someone's like, when is Jim Butcher going to do something? We try to keep this page up to date, and this is when he is doing things. Or any of our other panelists.
Once things are finalized, can we move our guests of honor to the top?
No.
Pretty please?
We'll talk about that.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, so programming. So one of the reasons why we're so far behind this year is the way I've been doing programming for the past couple years wasn't going to work for this year for various reasons. So I tried something new, and it was kind of working. But then we got access to this really awesome programming tool. So we switched again. So basically we switched the way we were doing programming twice this year, because that's a recipe for success. But so the good news, bad news of it is the bad news is we're behind, and I have to have this done like by midnight. Well, actually by 5 o'clock today. So my person doing my program guide can have that done, so I can get it to the printer by tomorrow morning. The good news is we now have a lot of experience in playing with this new tool, and like there's so many cool things we can do ahead of time rather than in the last 3 weeks. So that is going to be great. We're going to be able to just like when somebody's like, hey, I got this great idea for a panel, instead of me scratching on a piece of paper and trying to get it into my spreadsheet and remember it by the time Colin comes around, we'll put it in here. So, and we can send out surveys to prospective panelists. I mean, it's a really neat, robust tool. So 2017 is going to freaking rock.
And you were asking for this.
Yes, so we just, I don't know, there were some highlights. We just wanted to make sure that, you guys know there's cool stuff happening. So like main events has these sorts of things happening. Like we're doing the VIP speed dating again.
And if anyone asks, it is
it's
free. It's just first come, first served. We have limited seating in there. So,
Yes.
but yeah, there's no cost.
Sign up at the door? or
No,
something?
just come in and sit down.
Yeah.
Okay.
In fact, it's right after opening ceremonies, so come to opening ceremonies and stick around.
Much of the opening ceremony is the Phantom, so it starts at 6:30, I'm presuming?
Yep. So I really don't want to stand up there and talk for a long time. Yeah.
And speaking of which, for clarification's sake, aside from like obviously the vendors who charge for their stuff,
Yeah.
there isn't any additionally paid events at all, is there?
There is a group running Adventure League D&D and the
That's
Greenhouse, and they have some sort of table that you can purchase stuff at. I think it's in-game money, but that's sort of separate from us.
That'll be in the gaming room.
Yeah. But other than that, which may or may not cost real money, everything else is included.
We were trying to get like a painting thing, like paint the exploding TARDIS. It didn't come together this year, unfortunately. I don't think I can make it happen at the last minute. If that comes together, that would be a thing.
That would
just-
cost extra.
That would cost extra. But no, aside from everything, once you got your badge, everything is included. In fact, we're gonna have, and this isn't publicized, but there's gonna be some food at the Mad Hatter party on Friday night, because I know we're all gonna be crazy running around on Friday and not remember to eat, so there's gonna be some snacks in there, some fruit, some other stuff.
And we're making another cake for that day too.
So, oh yeah, are you talking about the break room or am I? Neither. Okay, we have a volunteer break room this year. I can't remember if I was going to talk about it here.
It's coming up under volunteering.
Okay, you get to talk about that. Cool. There'll be food and stuff. Yeah, so there's all sorts of cool stuff happening. Double Clicks are performing 2 or 3 times over the weekend, twice and then a thing. SJ Tucker's performing a couple times. We've tried to get Jim like as many opportunities for people to have exposure to him. He's going to have a table where he will sign and autograph things you bring to him. And then the rest of the time he'll probably be mingling and trying to enjoy things. So whatever we can do to help make sure he has a good time would be awesome.
We don't really know if there will be lines for him. We don't know how excited people are going to be and wanting to stand in lines and line up. If that happens, we'll need a few people to work line management just to keep walkways clear so that people aren't blocking exits. On Friday, we'll probably talk about strategies of which way lines will go, or maybe during the tour today.
Yeah, because he's going to be, you know how we had the 2 pods? We're going to put him on the second pod. He'll have that top table. So we can run lines that way, we can run lines that way, or we can run lines that way, or like along here, however. Yeah, good options. I figure we may have to do it on the fly in terms of how things are. We've never had lines before. Like, you know, we're get together and chill out and hang out and geek out kind of people. So this whole lines thing will be interesting to see how that goes. But you guys have worked DCC, most of you, so you know lines.
Just a point, because we haven't had lines before. If somebody notices that that's starting to happen, let somebody who knows what they're doing reportedly know, so we can get on top of it.
Yeah, pick it up to the volunteering table so that they can take the appropriate steps.
Speaking of volunteering and food, Arnie brought flan, so if anybody wants some, I don't know, we could pass it out or just do that. Okay, so why don't we do that while we transition? Up to you. Raise your hand if you want flan, we'll throw it at you. How's your throwing? Flan.
Flame?
Flan, Otto. Want some flan? Want some custard?
Hey, you're gonna come sit with me?
I was passing that back. And I think there's one behind you? Yes? A couple behind? Okay. Am I in the way of the camera?
No, probably. It's right there.
The flan is really good.
Flan?
Wait, take
Thank you, ma'am.
Can you get an extra fork?
What's that?
Can I get an extra fork?
Sure.
And I'm gonna need 3 for back here.
Okay.
And just so you know, my mom and I are going to be making a tortoise-themed tres leches cake for Friday for setup. So if anybody
Just
wants
one
to
more,
come,
Nikki. Oh. I meant to.
So,
Did you guys want any?
where did my cursor go?
Anybody else need one?
Alright,
Do
take
I?
that back.
Did you get
Here,
one?
I'll take both those.
No, I'm good at the moment.
There's that,
Okay.
and then here's another fork. Oh, you want the other?
Thank you.
There's one.
So for anyone who was wondering in that discussion there, Jim Butcher's probable position in the atrium is right here on an end cap. So we'll point it out when we're in the other room, but this is more or less where he's going to be, in the center of everything.
Alright. Everybody got flan that wanted flan? Flan?
Okay, flan.
Raise your hand.
One more call for flan.
Okay. Oh, Carol
Oh.
too.
And then if you want extra, come down later.
I don't think I've ever had it before.
Really good.
Alright, are we ready?
Woo! Yeah!
So I'm Jessie, I am the volunteer coordinator. I am not good at public speaking. So, regardless of what department you're working in, you need to come to the volunteer table and check in and out so that we can track your hours. We need to do this for something Nikki's going to mention later, but Malcon, can I say it?
Sure.
Malcon is going to transition into a 501c3. It'll be a charity. And so we need to track volunteer hours so that we can get grants. So please come and check in and out with whoever's at the table, which we already had posted up there.
Jesse, are we gonna start using QR?
No.
We're not that big.
Darn. Shift board is way too expensive for us right now.
And if
Yep.
people need to, they can bring the hours later, like if art show or gaming.
Yeah, just as long as we can keep those hours. I have a schedule with me. Please come see me after orientation so we can go over the schedule so I know if there's a panel you want to go to, that I can make sure that there's somebody else who doesn't want to go to that panel who's filling that spot. Safety. Our safety coordinator, Ellen, is here, and I'm just gonna go over a couple things.
Go for it.
If you feel unsafe in a situation, we don't want you to stay there. Go find our security people or come to the volunteer desk and we can handle it. Yes? Oh, you're just waving at me? Are you safety? Okay. Awesome. Oh, yes, hello. Read and update yourself on the Malcon policies. I had you sign the safe space policy. I don't know how many of you actually read it. But there is
It's on the
another.
website.
It's also on the website along with the weapons policy, which is a good thing for the safety people to read. No real metal, no real weapons. If you see somebody who's got too realistic a gun, it needs to not be here.
We're gonna have to lay anything like peace bonding or anything like that with,
Are we gonna peace bond?
I forget about that every year. Ellen, what do you guys want to do?
I'm sorry,
Peace.
peace bonding?
Peace bonding.
For peace bonding.
Oh, peace bonding?
I think last year we were using yarn, weren't we?
Yeah, we were, and I think we may need to step that up a bit this year.
So we can get,
Because yarn comes in times usually, I think I will see about getting some tape.
okay, like bright orange tape that uses it
Bright
right,
orange or
maybe?
bright red.
Just keep the receipt so you can reimburse it, okay?
I will.
Amazon.com, I have a Prime account.
Yeah, so do I.
Okay, awesome.
How about zip
That paid
ties?
for itself like 5 times over for me.
Oh, I know.
And of course my cat sold the boxes.
But yes, I would absolutely love to do a little bit more
Okay.
this year, and I'm going to need some help at Reg for that. So you guys can keep an eye out if you have.
So where do you want it?
We will discuss that.
Where do you want people to go to peace bonding? Which would be the thing?
I don't want anybody to have to go into any room.
True.
Walk around.
Can we put it next to registration table?
Right.
That would be the best.
That
place
might
to
be
go.
a choke point though.
Right, so. Well, but if we wanna get traffic to zoo and our green screen stuff, are people who have weapons are gonna be the prospects. Are we gonna, so if we put a table between us and that?
There's more there, but.
I will ask.
Is she gonna be in the room or she's gonna be out in the lobby? Right,
We
so-
just, we need to be able to catch them as soon as they walk in the door
How
though.
many tables will volunteering have? Could we
You've
put
got your-
peace bonding at the volunteer
Yes.
desk, like next to us?
Because then it's just right across from each
Okay,
other.
sure.
We can put signs up that say,
And
please
then
check
that's
in
the second
at
pair of
weapons
those
check.
Yep, between the two stations, we can be keeping an eye out, but yeah, because that's go visit our friends. up
Billy,
at
we
the-
have weapons check signage.
Yeah, I was just pulling up that map for reference.
Thank you. Yes, so,
So it'd be, yeah.
and
Okay, we can do that.
that'll work. Alrighty, t-shirt deadline. If you have not put in for the t-shirt yet,
And then you might not get
you might not get one.
Well, you can get a shirt, you just won't get wording.
Yeah, you won't get wording. So, again, reason we need to track hours and everything, so if you want a t-shirt, you need to email me and let us know so that we can make sure that you have the size. And Nikki's really loving that fun.
Oh my god, it was so good.
Oh yes, the volunteer break room will be in 612. Awesome.
Season breaker.
So, we will have a couple of volunteers that rotate through that to keep an eye on things. There will be snacks. If you want to bring something to share, you're more than welcome to. But please be aware of people's allergies, so if it doesn't have ingredients listed on it, please bring something that says what's in it.
which reminds me, Nikki, you're okay with corn, right? Okay, perfect.
Like, he's gonna come at me with this big corn costume.
Also, please keep that room neat. You know, if you throw away your trash, clean up after yourself. There will be a bed there, so if you need to lay down or rest, there are several couches too. Nikki?
Yeah, one thing that was discussed, that was brought up, is somebody was asking if we were gonna have a quiet room for attendees. We don't at this point.
Mostly because we ran out of space.
So one thought we had was that maybe if somebody's having a meltdown moment, we could offer the break room as a space so they could go and feel safe.
Sure. We could do that, arrange with security and make sure we know what's going on, so that if we need to vacate that room, so that person can have their 5 minutes or whatever they need.
There's a bathroom in there too.
Ah, awesome, bathroom. So, I sort of take care of the programming, guest services, merch, and volunteers, as we don't have teams or department heads for those. So I'm gonna give you a rundown of what's gonna go on for that. Programming. We wanna track who's in panels. So if you're in programming, or if you're a floating volunteer in programming, we're gonna give you slips of paper, write the date, write what room, write what panel, and write how many people are in that panel. We also wanna check badges, because we don't want anybody in panels who does not have a badge.
We don't want to be super aggressive about it,
Yeah,
but
no.
if we see someone in the panel, after the panel's done, when they're coming out, just sort of say, hey, by the way, registration's this way.
Yes.
If you like this panel.
Customer service, be polite, be friendly.
Yeah.
Don't say, what are you doing here? Say, hey, registration's over there, like Billy said.
Or it's entirely possible they have a badge, but they're not wearing it, or it wasn't visible.
Yes.
So, hey, do you have a badge, or do you have a...
Yes, do you have a badge? Is it visible? Make sure we tell people, make sure your badges are visible.
We get a lot of people at Malcon, sorry.
No, you're fine. Go ahead.
Where they're not us, they haven't done this a million times, this is their first convention experience. So they're not used to the rundown, so we have to be overly solicitous and, teach them this is fun, this is why we do this, and
Yes.
make it a good experience.
Yeah, that's a really good point, actually, because we do have a lot of first-time attendees. So if you're not sure about somebody, assume ignorance, assume they don't know. And then use customer service to enlighten. Say, oh, hey, did you know that you can look in the program book? If somebody's like, oh my god, I cannot figure out why I can't find Jim Butcher. You're like, oh hey, have you checked the program guide? Here, if you go to this page right here, and that, assume.
So are we
they
gonna
don't
have
know.
access to the program guides so we can read them ourselves in the
Yes.
5
Yes.
seconds of free time we have?
Yeah.
Yes, I heavily encourage that you familiarize yourself with the program guide. We don't have a huge space, but it is kind of good to know when Jim Butcher's talking, or what big things are coming up, so that we can plan for it. Like, we will probably have lines for Jim Butcher. So we will need to, at least in the back of our minds, think, okay, all these people are lining up this way, and it's not good because they're running into this other group over here, so we need to politely redirect them. Hey, can you all please come over here? Thank you for standing in line. Thank you for coming to the con. Be, customer service.
Be firm though.
Is the,
Yes, but you can be polite but firm.
is the program
They won't move otherwise.
pushed out the guidebook, or is it on the website someplace where we can
that-
refer them?
on my to-do list today is to set up the guidebook.
Okay, so it'll be there somewhere?
Yeah, we'll have a guidebook, hopefully fully populated this year, and it will be on the website, and of course we'll have printed programs here as well.
So
Oftentimes
if you
that's-
have
A lot of times that's handy for us,
Yeah.
because we can go up to guidebook on the phone and just say, look, here it is.
Yep.
Rather than, I don't have that book in my hand when I'm
Right.
walking around town, even if they do.
So, if you have a smartphone, consider downloading Guidebook, finding Malcon, and it'll bring up the panel, and then you can just show it to them on your phone.
If anyone has questions about how we make that happen, just talk to me after this.
Because we're anticipating lines for Jim Butcher, are we anticipating for the first time ever meeting a staging area and having to clear the panel of people who are lining up for a panel?
I think we'll be okay.
Or just have them line up outside of direction?
If we fill up this room, then that's a great problem to have. We've never had that problem before, so.
It's like 150 seats in here or something like that.
Yeah. That's a pretty sizable percentage of who we can have in the building. And not everyone is here for Jim Butcher.
Sure. There are a few people that are like, what? Who? I'm like, oh, never mind.
So if you're helping in programming, the other things you'll be doing, is helping prepare the rooms and clean up the rooms before and after. So if there's a panel coming up where there's crafting going on, and there's usually tubs under the tables, pull those out, make sure that the panelist is showing up when they're supposed to, and help the panel start on time. I'm not doing a very good job of this, I apologize. Remind panelists that they have a panel. We have Dwight, Arnie. Dwight's kind of the team lead.
He's up there.
Hi, Dwight, where are you? There you are. Dwight is our team lead for programming this year. And he and Arnie and Dave are going to sort of coordinate all the programming folks. But we would like to go for like 15 minutes, warn the panelists if we can find them.
They're gonna have pictures of all the panelists this year.
Oh, wow.
We're working on having a lookup list. This is the panelists, this is what they look like, and also at 5 o'clock, here is the list of panelists that are needed.
So you'll have one page that's all the pictures, and then all the schedule stuff will be separate.
Yeah.
So that is the goal, and we have a few days to do it.
We heard you guys.
There might be some line management like we've been talking about. Guest services, Chris and, is Nancy here?
No, I don't think she is.
And Marty? Okay, well, one of our guest services people is here. His name is Chris. He's in the back sitting next to Heidi.
Like basically our VIP handlers.
They're our VIP handlers, so they will help Jim Butcher get around.
Double clicks.
And the double clicks, and Harry
Harry if he needs it.
if he needs it, checking on him and stuff.
And then SJ and the other special guests
Yep.
can use help, but the priorities are Jim and the double clicks.
Yep. So if you are floating or assigned to guest services, you just help them get where they need. If they need some water, or what kind of things do we provide?
So they'll have snacks and we give them water bottles and stuff like that. So basically, the VIP handlers are the line of defense between the guests and me, so that way the guests don't have to find me, I don't have to go to the guests, like, whatever they need, the VIP handlers can coordinate all of that, and they come to me and go, oh my gosh, we need this, or hey, they really want a jumbo juice, can I do that? I'm like, yes, here, take some cash for it.
It has been spelled out to guests that there's no expectation that we will provide transportation off-site, that we will not necessarily go and buy them things from off-site. If you are working with a guest and they say, hey, can you run to Starbucks and get me this and here's the money for it, and you feel like doing that, that's your prerogative. But there's no expectation of that.
The expectation is that the handlers are on site and getting them where they need to go.
Alrighty.
It would be helpful to tell volunteering if you are going off-site for some such thing.
Yes,
Yeah.
please come tell me if you're gonna leave. That way if somebody comes looking for you, they're not gonna be like, oh, where's so-and-so? We have a couple merch people here.
Woo!
Hi. At least the ones I know, because I don't know all of you. Merch is, encourage people to buy Malcolm merchandise, cash handling, inventorying what's left, and we have Square? Or
Yes. So we will have a dedicated tablet set up in the area for registration and or merch people to use in addition to whatever phones that they feel comfortable plugging in. If you want a tutorial on how to use Square, if you've never done it before, you can talk to me or Joe. We can walk you through it. If you are at the merch, basically we have a large backlog of t-shirts from previous years, and we would love not to take them home with us.
We have some in our trunk if you want to buy some today.
Yes, anyone who wants shirts, we can handle that today as well if you want to take them home and wash them. They're from previous years. We don't have this year's yet. That's coming this week. But that's sort of a big thing, is we buy more t-shirts than we necessarily sell out, and we would love to stop storing them in our garage.
Can I ask how we did last year on getting rid of some of the older?
Last year was fantastic. It
Yes.
was great.
Okay.
Yes.
We would love for that
You
to
were a
happen.
huge success, and we want to repeat that.
Yes. I don't have numbers, but I just know.
No, that's fine, just in general.
Yes.
Anybody else who would volunteer for, or is gonna be floating or volunteering for merch, I would recommend just, something that worked for me last year, Gambit-wise, was just going,
Hey, don't you want the whole set?
you could frame them and put them on your wall if you're not a big t-shirt wearer. So,
You can make a blanket out of them.
Yes, make a
And
blanket.
that is great.
You have to wear them all.
And I
Okay.
had him sign my shirt.
I was gonna say,
Nice.
we
Yes.
can put some of I'm gonna have a print shop, and I'm pretty sure Chaz will have stuff. We can put some of the shirts over there at art show too.
That would be good. Awesome, you guys are so full of ideas. Volunteering. Tammy and Zainab and AJ and Bree are going to be helping me with volunteering this year.
Yay!
Tammy has been working on a schedule because she's wonderful. And they're going to, because I'm a one-person show, Kirk, who is my other half, may not be there on Friday because his work is moving. So he may or may not be around.
It took 3 of us to replace him though, see?
I know the difference. I know the truth.
It's okay, Kurt.
Tammy and her family and Bree are all wonderful people.
Yes.
But they would be happy to help you if I am not available, since I'm one person and I might need a nap or food. They are going to
We might
be,
find her on that bed in the break room.
There you go.
so they will be helping me with
We're locked in the bathroom.
helping
But if
you.
you're in there Pokemon,
Who Pokemon while they were here, or yeah.
I just do.
And-
I just keep collecting them while I'm sitting here.
Oh, are we a Poke stop?
We are right
next
here.
door
At the Webster Lake.
I think we need to post it.
Webster
Lake has like.
Oh, definitely, we should publicize
Yes.
that.
Not surprising.
I know nothing about that.
Oh, your friends. and
Everybody
drama
looks at their
wars.
phones and turns on Pokemon Go.
Is Sabrina or Mitzi?
Peter better
Oh,
be.
where-
Sabrina is here.
Yes, they're both here.
I would
Oh,
be
yeah.
remiss if I
Sabrina
wasn't.
and Mitzi, will you raise your hand? Hello. They are the wonderful ladies who are going to be taking care of the break room for us. So if you have break room
Yay.
stuff, ladies are the names to speak to. If you are, again, on my team, you will probably be doing a lot of the other stuff we talked about, line management, checking panel rooms, going where we need you. Are any of you going to be available to help set up on Friday?
what time are you guys doing setup?
All day.
Yeah,
We will get here Thursday night.
Starting at.
So we're picking up a moving truck this year, rather than using people's cars. We're picking that up Thursday morning, and then we're gonna be here Thursday afternoon. We're gonna start setting up art show and vendor room, Thursday nights. So when we get downstairs, like probably 9 o'clock in the morning, on Friday we'll start.
So do we meet here then?
Yeah, come here.
I could be here about 9.
Peter, you had something?
Rick.
Oh, Rick.
So showtime, 9 a.m. Friday.
Well, that's what time we're gonna be downstairs starting to do setup.
So anyone who wants to come join us is welcome to.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's going to be things to
Yes,
do, like
you're
assembling
not obligated
badges.
to be here for setup, but if you can,
We will take your help.
appreciate it.
Would you like us to, sure, would you like us to, like, if we're gonna be here, just check in with somebody?
Yeah, check in with.
Check in with me. If I am not here yet, just come back when I'm here and tell me when you got here.
Just keep track of that, so that way she can track
I probably won't be here at 9 a.m.
it. I just can't sleep anymore.
Oh.
Sleeping for the week. Oh, no, sleep and week.
One thing Heidi was doing last year that the authors found particularly useful was she would get them water and help them with little things. So if you're one of my floaters or you're in programming, you might be, how are you doing? Have you been drinking water?
Yeah.
In general, to the attendees, to everybody, including yourselves, have you been hydrating, drinking water and eating and all of that good stuff, because we don't want you to get heat exhaustion and pass out.
And also taking a break.
And take a break. That is why we're gonna do the schedule, is so we can schedule you breaks.
As far as
Especially if you wanna go see Jim Butcher or,
as far as our guests are concerned, SJ Tucker and the Double Clicks are coming from lowlands, relatively. So if you're working with them, do encourage them to hydrate
yes.
and take it easy.
Those are of you who work DCC, this is way more
Yeah.
relaxed. Way more relaxed. There's a lot of flexibility. We can work with you if a panel comes up you want to see, as long as we're not swamped. You'll get breaks, you'll get to go play in the vendor room or the art show or see something. And you are highly encouraged to cosplay.
Yes.
Please wear costumes. I have oodles if anybody needs to borrow something.
Tell them about the thing.
Oh, and this year, Nikki and Billy, wonderful as they are, have gotten us lanyards that for volunteering, that say volunteer on them.
In Hufflepuff colors.
In Hufflepuff.
I'm Hufflepuff.
So you can wear that when you're on shift.
They're also very visible.
And take it off
Yellow
when
is
you're
very
off.
visible.
They're visible, so that way volunteers or attendees know you're volunteering, you're on duty. When you're not on duty, you can take that off. We would like them back.
Yes. They're
So
kind of a
please come get them from me and my team.
We did order 100.
If you take it with you, bring it back next year.
There you go. Just keep reusing it.
If you'd want to do that, you need to bring your own lanyard or clip it. Make sure you can clip it to something. And again, make sure it's visible so that we're not like, who are you and what are you doing? Especially if you end up with a lot of face paint or a mask or something. I'm looking at the Klingons back.
Well, no, it would be TOS this year.
Okay.
I think that's...
All right.
One more. I've got one more slide for you.
Oh. Waivers. If you have not filled out the waivers and the safe space policy, please come see me after orientation so I can get those.
And did you want to
Yes.
cover?
What?
What's the safe space policy?
It's their
It's like our anti-harassment.
anti-harassment policy.
You can find them all online if you are interested.
We just have people sign them because it makes sure that you kind of are aware of it rather than me say it and then you forget 5 minutes later. Just so everyone's aware of the anti-harassment, because we want to make sure we're not harassing people either. Like, if you have a very upset person come up to you because somebody grabbed their butt, you don't want to say, well, what were you wearing? Because just no victim shaming language, please.
Can you ask what he was wearing?
Yes. You also don't want to touch anybody. Even if they're ADA, ask first.
Volunteer or attendee.
Volunteer or attendee, don't touch anyone without asking first. That's a big no-no. And I believe Luna had a concern about people's children. And
We have updated the language. Anytime we talk about children online, we talk about adult supervision at all times. And that will be at registration as well because.
And we'll have signage in multiple places, hopefully, because, okay, so this came out every clause has somebody's name behind it. So last year we had somebody who basically dropped their children off at a thing. These are children that are like
4 to
6
6.
years, under 5, under 6. Dropped their children off at a craft, and she went to another panel. Well, the crafting finished. So all the parents took their children away, and our volunteers left with these 2 spare children. And she's like, well, can you find your parents? Well, I don't know. I mean, we are not a babysitting service. We are not responsible for other people's children. The parents are responsible for their children, full stop. So we are making sure there is signage that says you may not leave your children unattended.
And if we find unattended children.
If we find them, there's like a 15-minute window, which that child and that parent must be reunited. If we do not find them, we're calling the police and reporting them as an abandoned child. We are not responsible for other people's children.
Yep.
So that is not your responsibility.
And again, do not touch children. If you are male, you might want to consider finding a female security person or volunteer to stand with that kid because unfortunately our culture thinks that if you're a guy, you might be one of the creepies. So having a woman.
outside a door or whatever.
Just frame that. If you're a single person, get another.
Yes,
volunteer.
It's always good to have a second
Just
person.
frame it that way because it doesn't matter male.
Yeah, it really doesn't.
Yes, don't be alone with a child.
Right.
There you go.
Always have a witness.
Yes. Don't take them anywhere.
Also, Reg, we will be strongly encouraging / requiring as much as we can that all children have parental information on their badges.
But again, that's not our responsibility.
True, but we're going to encourage it, because it will make it easier should something occur.
And that's what we did at DCC too.
Yeah, that helped a lot. Yeah. So we could get some labels or something and have them write their phone number, their cell phone number, and their name on the back of the badge.
It's really a good idea because it might not be that the parent left the child,
Yeah.
it might be that the child wandered off and the parent is looking for them.
Lost child.
Justin, did you want to go over the area heads section now or save it for later?
That's fine, or Nikki can do it.
These kids have vanished so fast.
She's not her fill. No, you want some more flan?
I do want some more flan.
Good.
Okay, Nikki,
Better.
Better, thank you.
one slide for you then.
All right. Okay. So I want all of the areas to kind of give a little report so you all have an idea of kind of what's going on with each other. But yes, area heads, if you can, area heads, area teams, however you guys work. If you guys could start documenting the processes of what you do, that would be really useful. What's that? And when you do them, like, hey, 6 months out, I tend to do this. 3 months out, I do this. On site on Friday, I do this. Or, you know, yeah, just our standard operating procedures would be great, you know. Because things happen, people turn over, and it's also really nice if somebody's like, hey, I'm really interested in joining the department that does that, but what do they do? We can be like, hey, here's an idea of what happens in that department, you know. And having some 2 deep leadership, having some second in command, some lieutenants, trying not to, and I know I'm the worst about this, but I'm getting better at making sure I have people backing me up. So it took me 4 years, but we're getting there. So, you know, learn from my lessons a little faster. Have people behind you that can help. You know, like this year, our security team, which we're calling it safety, because in some states, security means certain legal things. So we're calling it a safety team, so that way we're safe, no matter what. But it's the same group. It's the, you know, hey, there's some problem, let us jump in and help. So with our safety team, for example, Bill may or may not be coming. But we've got Ellen, we've got Galen, we've got, you know, more people on the safety team. They can just step right in and take care of things, no worries.
Does the safety team, are they wearing something that we can pick them out real quick?
What do you want to do, Ellen?
I would really love to be able to do that.
Yeah, let's get a report from our safety team.
Do we still have the red armbands?
We have,
Yeah.
Okay.
You want them?
I would really like to have them.
Okay.
That really is helpful.
Sure. We can bring
Usually we have red armbands that some of us wear as headbands because it is more visible.
And they fall off.
I'm short, so having it up here, people notice. I'm only 5'5".
You got 2 inches on me.
Yeah.
Don't make me come up there for perspective.
Okay, so Bill, who is my co-head, is actually in Arizona.
That's where he lives.
He lives in Arizona, and New Mexico. You're right.
New Mexico.
He just works Arizona here, or con.
Yeah.
That's how I got myself confused. Anyway, he has been trying to pull funding together to be able to even make it to this con.
Oh boy.
He posted about an hour ago that he is
Max
working on being here. So normally we split shift. He takes mornings, I take evenings. If he is not able to actually make it, I will need somebody to help me out for 8 a.m. Thank you. As long as you can actually be here at 9 a.m.
Oh yes, I want.
I am unemployed right now, so you have me from Friday morning through Sunday night.
Fantastic.
I wanted to mention that please take this volunteering seriously and show up on time.
And not sick.
And not sick. If you are sick, please stay home.
Even if it's Friday at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, you start coming down with something, tell somebody that you are not going to be able to stay. That is a safety issue. That is a safety issue for all attendees and volunteers.
Thankfully, vertigo is not an infectious thing.
No, it's not. No, we all have problems.
You sure?
Okay, so safety, we've all at least been to cons and know that we don't touch each other without permission. ever. That goes for all of us. Nikki, may I have a hug? Yes. That's how easy communication is.
All right, ask me
Please
again.
use your words. May I have a hug?
No, thank you.
Okay, I will ask you later.
Thank you.
So,
It's really that simple. No is a full sentence.
anyone who has any problem of any kind, find safety. I have one back there.
Two of them are back there.
Two.
Yeah, two of the Klingons.
You got Peter and Rick.
Well, we hadn't
You got those two there?
finalized Rick yet, so.
I am also big and easy to see.
More lady on the team.
Yes! Yay, more females!
Okay,
That's good.
so Sue Ellen is going to be working mornings as well. Okay, so I'm going to try to get everybody together here in just a few minutes so that we can pair off and work together. So it's really nothing difficult. We just have to make sure that everybody's having a healthy. That's it.
Thank you.
Line 3.
Billy, what was communicate responsibly about? Like responsive?
Responsively.
Responsive.
Like please respond?
Respond
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. But mostly,
Respond to them.
Oh, yeah.
Communicate with your team.
Yes, please.
If you are a person who is a staff/area head person, then there's that expectation of, especially as we get near the convention, of responding to communication sooner rather than later.
In the last month before the con, really, if you're running a department or helping run a department, responses should be probably within a day. You should be checking your emails daily. And the whole training
Just
Alright. Yeah,
oh, sorry. I have the notes in front of me. Just making sure that area heads do sort of communicate to the people in their department. What does it mean to be in this department? This sort of goes back to that document in the process, but it can be a separate thing. Just like, hey, if you are in the art show, this is what I'm expecting you're going to do. To set those expectations before people show up, so that they have any problems with that, they're not having that on site.
All right. So safety, you've kind of given a briefing, and then you guys are going to meet afterwards, hopefully, for a few minutes.
And hopefully this year we won't have any run-ins with crazy soccer folks.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
I think it's this weekend, so you might get lucky.
It'll be something
Okay.
different.
Art show. I know, Missy, I saw you come. Yeah, there you are. Do you have anything you want to tell us? When we were going through the schedule earlier, it said Sunday art show is 9 to 4 because that's vendor hours. But you guys are tearing down at 3?
So I'm ending bidding at 2 p.m. That way I can get everybody checked out and the artists can pick up their work no later than 4 so everybody who wants to be at closing ceremony can be there.
Oh, do you want to stand up and introduce yourself? I'm sorry.
I guess I can.
Or just wave.
I'm Misty. I'm taking over for Jody as the art show director. And our show has almost doubled in size this year. And I've got prospects. I have 3 prospects for next year to add to that list. One of them is out of state and reached out to us.
Nice.
Very nice. From Arizona.
Cool.
Or Oklahoma, excuse me, Oklahoma.
That's awesome. And that's really important because like as we ramp up towards the WesterCon year, the art show has a lot of space if we want it. The vendor room has a lot of space if we want it. So that's something that and as people are doing things this year, I want you guys to be thinking of, okay, do I want to stick around for the WesterCon year? Hopefully the answer is yes. And if so, bring your friends, be like, wow, I'd really love to do this with this friend of mine. We could spend this whole weekend together doing this together. So start trying to, cultivate some of those people that you want to bring. Like I'm hoping that Jody will stay with you and that you guys have Topher. Like you got a good team, so
Yeah,
hopefully that'll
we do.
continue.
I'm bringing in a new one this year too.
Nice.
Have they filled out the
Yes,
stuff?
it was Whitney.
Oh, Whitney. Okay, yes, awesome.
I think I'm the only one who actually didn't fill anything out, so worried about that.
Well, you know what? She has forms.
I was like, oh, I should probably do that too.
Waivers. Yes, exactly. Okay, safety, we've already done. Gaming.
Yes.
Anna, you want to introduce yourself?
Sure. I'm Anna Scher. I have worked with I've ran the gaming room since Malcon started, and we're good to go. We have 7 games this year to give away so far.
8. Doctor Who card game.
We have another game,
Yeah.
and that could increase by the time the con gets here. So it should be a lot of fun.
So, and that what she's talking about is the play to win. So you go into the gaming room you'll see the stack of them, and you're like, hey, I want to play that game. You play it, you let the volunteers know that you played the game, and you're entered into a drawing to win that game.
Actually, in front of the game, there's going to be a notebook with a statement on it, and you put your name on it and your phone number. That is, if you want us to contact you. If you don't, that's okay. You can. I won't have any way to contact you if you're not at the ceremony, and I'll have to redraw. But every time you play the game, you're entered into the drawing.
Yeah, so you can play it 4 or 5 times if you get.
We had the second year, we had David Time Well Spent give the 20th anniversary edition of Ticket to Ride, and we had 120 names on the list, and it went to a brand new gamer who spent 8 games in the game room with it. He fell in love with it. He was like 14. Absolutely loved that game.
So yeah, so that's something.
Oh, what a memory.
Yeah,
promote that, let
it's
people
a
know
lot
about
of
that.
fun.
It's pretty cool. We also have the D&D Adventure League coming. So if you're familiar with that, it's D&D, and they have like modules, and you go in and you play, and they're going to be taking up like 5 tables, like half the gaming room. Oh, the gaming room is in the greenhouse this year, so we have all space. If I wasn't clear about that earlier, so yeah, so gaming has the entire greenhouse. And D&D Adventure League will be in there with them as
I would
well.
like to take a look at that before we leave.
Okay. Yeah, we can see if it's open. Just walk in.
Okay.
It was where we had main events 2 years ago.
I've never made it to main events.
Okay.
I don't get out much.
That's why I quit volunteering in gaming.
You mean there's an actual convention at the convention?
I know, right?
I gave up on participating in the con with NDK 15 years ago. I used to try and make it to karaoke, and I'd make it to karaoke, and it was over, or just ending, and then I'd go back, and it was like, and Mike would go, how was it? And I'm like, well, I kind of missed it, so as long as I make it to dealer's room at least once, I'm good.
Yeah, that's about all I look forward to.
Alright, so programming.
10 minutes to wonder the
Dwight, you're kind of our lead you are our lead.
Right.
Kind of, you are. For on-site. Anything you want to say?
If any of the vendors or anything are wondering where they need to go as far as programming, myself, Arnie down here, and David in the back, we're the guys that are going to have all that information. It should be in the programs, and they should be on top of it themselves, but if you need to, you can send it to one of us. We'll take care of it.
Joe, registration?
Hi, I'm Joe. I'm in charge of registration. This is year 3.
Yeah, it is.
So, if anybody has any questions or concerns about how things are going, let us know.
And we'll have free registration for 2017 on Sunday.
Yep. We will. Are we doing WesterCon?
We will have WesterCon registration there. I think we need to remember to get forms. I'll add it to Billy's list.
And then, if we have a couple minutes after the meeting, if anybody who's working right just wants to chat about schedule and what we're doing, that would be awesome too.
What ages are kids? What age do they have to have a ticket?
7.
Thank you.
7 to 12 is child.
Yep, 0 to 6 is free. If they want to grab a badge for them, they can totally do that. We have, I don't know, half a dozen children pre-registered, some of them in that 0 to 6, and they'll have a badge. Why not? Their name's going to be on it. If they don't register their 0 to 6 with us, then they won't get a badge, and that's about all there is to it.
The little kids will
And then 7 to 12.
This big kid loves the badge.
The phone numbers of the parents?
Yes.
Yeah.
There's paper inside a plastic sleeve. So we can pull out the paper.
Shouldn't you then require badges for all children?
Yeah, we're pretty loosey-goosey about
I mean, if they're carrying the child.
we will, yeah, so registration will encourage it, but, yeah. And then children 7 to 12 are half price.
So 13 and over is full weekend, but our prices are low enough that most people don't.
So, like, do we have a different badge for children, or is it the
No.
same?
Same.
They're full attendees.
Yeah?
I was just thinking in terms
We're all
of
equal.
giving a 6-year-old, but then they decide to walk around, this is too small, never mind. Most people don't think that way on the side, the fun convention.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
We can just Sharpie it on their arm.
It works. I'm sorry.
Forehead. But you got
Well, no, you hand it to the, because if you have a 2-year-old, they won't keep the badge on.
Well then, yeah.
No, they don't. So you run around and leave it.
What we've done with Galaxy Fest is because we're so but this works really well.
We do
with
have the
kids.
wristbands.
If we have wristbands, we can do wristbands for the 6 and under. And then we write, and then
You
yes,
can
this
write
child
their name, you
belongs
can write
here.
on it.
We did do that in the past. We did do the wristbands for the free kids. I can bring we can bring those because we have a ton of those. We need to
That would be
freeze
great,
and
because that helps us.
So cute.
We can just call the parent and.
Okay, vendor room, Meg's not here, right?
How's the vendor room going, Nikki?
Hey, vendor room's going awesome. We sold out months ago. Well, okay, so I do a lot of the stuff before the con, like, I do programming, I do vendors,
She does too much, and that's why I have to do some of the.
Yeah, it's so anyway, there's our vendor room, and it's freaking awesome. It looks like it's in Klingon right now.
I'm not sure I can
So,
get much.
alright, what does that say?
Klingon.
Put our Klingons in the back there.
Buy or die.
I see that right there in the corner.
This is why I'm really glad that Peter is joining us. That's Peter Pound back there, for those who don't know, and he's a treat. You guys are gonna like him. He's a good guy. He may come across all gruff and stuff, but he's a good guy.
Well, it's Klingon.
Oh, he's clean, right? So the entrances are right there. This is art show side, this is vendor room side. So Misty has been rocking this out.
The map is inaccurate. She has pushed out.
I
into
have,
the
to, I have to readjust it. Everybody, I have so
All
many
of it.
artists right now.
Yeah, there's more coming in. It's like Tetris backwards. And then the creative corner is in there. There's only programming in there, I think, on Saturday though, so that's gonna be really easy to deal with. Silent auction will be over here if anybody's looking for it. It'll be in there on some schoolies on the side. Anyway, the vendor room, it looks very similar to last year. We kind of changed up a few aisles in the middle. We've got some new folks. We've got Time Well Spent was sold. Dave sold it, and a guy named Dave bought it, which led to a fun conversation for Anna. Time Well Spent, hi, this is Dave. I thought you quit. Different Dave.
I didn't even get that far. It just was a pause.
That is so freaking awesome. We've got Dryad Tea coming back. We've got Revived Gifts coming back. I mean, we've got a lot of returning folks. Mad Tatter, Two Weird Sisters will be back. They were gone, I think, last year. We've got, who's the corset lady?
Lady Godiva?
No.
No.
Setchi.
Frickin' I forgot. But anyway, she's friends with Kitty.
Red Threaded.
Red Threaded. I think, is that Red
Yeah,
Threaded?
it's
Yeah,
Red
so-
Threaded is the corset couple.
Yeah, so we've got some really, Black Becomes Her, they're new for us this year. She's also, Sandra, who is the proprietor of that one, is handling all of our printed stuff in terms of like, she's creating the program book stuff. Anyway, we sold out months ago, which is awesome. And it's by invitation only, and it's all people who make their own stuff. So, we have one of the most unique vendor rooms. No, we have the most unique vendor room in town. It's pretty awesome. I'm actually quite proud of what we do with it. So, and then yeah.
And where is the massage person gonna be this year?
Where is she? She's in there.
I thought.
She's on the wall, on the
On
right
the
wall.
wall.
Dozen
Yeah.
Gnome Space Q.
Where are you, sweetie?
On the right.
All the way to the right.
All the way to the right.
More right. Keep going
Right
right.
left. Ha!
There you go.
The
By the
other
art
right.
show.
Oh, there she is.
Oh, okay.
So come in the door, go straight down.
Yay!
So yeah, when people come in, where that gibberish is up there that you can't read right now, they can walk in. So they can come in that entrance and walk across there and come into the vendor room. So we're really trying to encourage more traffic into the vendor room. Because, it's kind of in the corner, and so people don't necessarily see that door because it's got that overhang and stuff.
And if you're curious, at least the vendor side of this map is up on the website. So if you're like, oh, who do we have this year? It's all there.
It's all there. Vay will be head of vendors again. Thank goodness. And she's got a table inside the room now next to, hopefully, the TARDIS. So yeah, any vendor on-site questions are handled by Vay. And her team. All right, what else?
Volunteers, we have kind of done. How's it going?
Are there any areas that I did not call out?
Merch. You're essentially.
I'm kind of in charge of merch. We have t-shirts, we have posters, and we have pint glasses. We have a lot of pint glasses still, because when I bought them originally 4 years ago, I bought like
How gross.
1,000 or something.
Sell them full?
So sell them. Sell them like crazy.
Yes, they can be full of water.
They're really cool.
Hydration.
I put some
There you go.
aloe vera in one.
Yes.
Bob and Rich.
Let's say hell no H2O.
Yes.
We're gonna be
Oh, yeah.
vendor.
Exactly.
And Rich is here.
Yeah.
So yes. So yeah. So we're gonna have some lots of folks helping out at that. So we'll have So there's cool stuff. Just go and buy it and tell people about stuff. All right. What else, my dear?
Oh yeah, Shiny Garden. Where's my mouse cursor? There we go.
So I know there's some new faces here, and I just kind of want to point out something real quick before we get into Shiny Garden, is that Myths and Legends Con is a little different in the sense that it's kind of like, laugh.
This is my screensaver.
That's the placeholder. All right. It's kind of like we're here hosting our friends. Like, we look after each other. I tell people this, that we're a community. Like, we take care of each other. And I mean that, like, everybody. Like, I've been experiencing vertigo lately. And so, like, it's on y'all to kind of make sure I don't fall down. Like,
Literally.
But literally, unfortunately, this time. But I know that I can ask you guys that because we take care of each other. Like, you know, and if somebody needs something, we're like, all right, how do we take care of this? Like, you know, I'm a little worried about that, so we'll see what we can do, you know. I mean, like, so, and that applies to our attendees, that applies to our volunteers, that applies to our vendors. Like, we all look after each other. So, kind of keep that in mind as you're going through. Like, if you need something, ask. If somebody needs something, help. That's kind of how we work. All right, cool. Because I wanted to kind of touch on culture. Okay, so just so everybody is aware, Shiny Productions is an LLC that I created a number of years ago to run events, one of which is the Myths and Legends Convention. And Malcon and then real life kind of took over, and I haven't been able to do a lot of other things, other events that I want to do and such. And there are a number of factors. You know, I want to create a legacy. I want to have things that go beyond me. I want to get more people involved because being the only person doing something is not a recipe for success. So we're going in a new direction, and a group of us have come together, and we've created a new nonprofit, and it is called Shiny Garden. And the idea is that, you know, we have deep roots that go in, but we grow things outwards as well. Touchy-feely. And so yeah, so we're shifting from, you know, Malcon this year is still being run by Shiny Productions, the sole member LLC, but we are shifting towards that multi-member nonprofit. We have the board and stuff like that. And I don't think, aside from me and Billy, I don't think any other board. Oh, Joe's going to join the board. I don't think any other board members are right now. That's okay. So yeah, so then the focus is, another thing I really wanted to do is I want to have, there's been a lot of discussion in the geek community about inclusivity and representation. So basically, I don't know if you guys have noticed, but a lot of the area heads happen to be women. I tend to kind of look for, you know, people like myself, I guess. We all do that. So there are people in our fandom community who look at the people they see at the front, you know, speaking, or the people who are our guests of honor, and they don't see themselves. And that's something I want to work on changing. So it's something we're working on very hard to do with WesterCon is to make sure that we are representing more people. And part of the charter of Shiny Garden is to make sure that we are reaching out and including, you know, people of color, LGBTQ, you know, if we're talking about people who have legal representation, as well as people who don't have legal representation, like, you know, people, non-monogamy communities, littles, you know, anything in the kink community. There's a lot of people in those sections that don't have legal representation, and so they look for representation and they look for safe places and they don't know where to go. So one of our jobs is, one of our goals is to create events that have that safe space and that have that representation and that inclusion. So so we're making a shift. We're making a real shift, and more stuff is coming. We're just getting started, but just want to let you guys know where we are, and as you start to hear things and see things, that's where we lie. All right. In general, Shiny Garden, Malcon, WesterCon, anything, any questions? If you ask questions, we provide answers. Unless you're going to ask Jim Butcher when the next book is coming out, in which case the answer is when it comes out. Next question.
That's an answer.
In fact, I'm going to make a sign that says that, because people will ask that. It's like, no, just leave them in.
That is not something to ever ask an author.
No, right? Who does that?
You don't want it wrong.
Obsessed fans. Don't say obsessed.
You know? Was it George R. Martin is not a bitch? That's a Neil Gaiman. Okay, well, if you guys are cool, then let's go and tour the space so you guys know where to find everything. And then we can come back here, eat flan. People can meet with their teams.
Check schedules.
Check schedules.
Sign waivers.
Sign waivers. Waivers! Yeah! Thank you. Gold star right there. All right, so let's do it. Let's take a walk.
Warning next time.
Hi, so when I filled out my volunteer thing, did I say I wanted to?
Okay. The jury's still out on that.
I don't know. It'll be coming from my Gmail account, because it's the only one I have on my phone. I can't access my Hotmail.
It's also listed on
I'm trying to get.
Oh, Wayne. Yeah, I was gonna say, you look like you're missing a few meals, but.
When you have, if you haven't already, it was
There, son, I should say, a little bit back there. Totally ignored me.
Because you're like, hey, on Saturday I want my shirt because I forgot Friday, and we're out of your size.
Right.
I'm sure we just have one decide.
Everybody and everything.
Cool. Well, it's fine too, because I told you.
Oh, well, that's one of the reasons I